The ability to make a choice is the one